on Law School. This is the free astrotheology course. Let me see if I can get some symmetry. Let's see. So our course text, the textbook for the course is the Devil's Pulpit, all right? It's the Devil's Pulpit by the author, the Reverend Robert Taylor. I used to show the cover, but now I'm not because it's too beat up. I got to put a new cover, and I actually have to, well, it doesn't matter. I should replace the first couple of pages and get it rebound, but I got to make the time to do it. But anyway, y'all, we are almost finished with the lecture on St. Matthew. Almost done. So I'm very, very pleased with our progress. I am very pleased with our progress. Let me get my cafe together. One moment. All right. It seems like it is extra hot these last few days in Saigon. But anyway, let's make it do what it do. Page 300. Hold on. Page 320. Give me 1 second, y'all. Page 327. Page 327. Yeah. No? Yeah, page. I'm losing my voice. Page 327. That they are the very same beasts as those which were, hold on. Yes, all right. First paragraph on page 327. A most wonderful provision that against their catching the cholera morbus, for the moment, they felt like they didn't know how they got sick. They had only looked at their own tripes, looked at their own GI tract to see, or their own stomach, to see, or intestine, what was the matter with them. Okay, so they could self-diagnose with their eyes being in their GI tract. Self-diagnose cholera. Y'all get it? Cholera gives you runny diarrhea, Aquarius, the water bearer. Y'all get it? That they are the very same beast as those which ever, and by the way, Aquarius is Mark. Okay, Aquarius is Mark. So we're talking about those four beasts. That they are the very same beast as those which ever accompany the four evangelists is found in the sacred text with the accuracy of natural history. Quote unquote. The first beast, says the holy apostle, was like a lion. And the second beast was like a calf. A calf is a cow. So now we have Leo the lion, and this calf is Taurus the bull. And the third beast had a face of a man. So a face of a man, that is Aquarius, right? So the Maserat, the Zodiac, Zodiac. And something came to my mind because people will say, well, Mary is not an animal. And Aquarius are not animals. But the rest of the zodiac signs are animals. But Mary is a mermaid, the mistress of the sea. And Aquarius is an hermaphrodite. So that's a hybrid, a Genesis chapter 1 hybrid. So in my opinion, just my opinion, and I can't remember the source, but there is a zodiac that doesn't use animals. I have to find where I got that information from, but there's one that doesn't use animals. Not that that's correct, but we must acknowledge that Mary is, when you look at the etymological meaning of Mary, it's a mermaid, a mistress of the sea. And again, Aquarius is asexual, just, that's Genesis chapter 1. So that would be a hybrid, right? Y'all got it? This is why the Elohim said it was good. It wasn't outstanding. It was only good. A good is grade C. Good is grade C. So the Elohim, if that's the God you're worshiping, he could only do an average job. You would expect that if it was perfect, which it was not, and we know that because based upon the grammar rules, the created creature in Genesis chapter 1 it was not male or female. It was actually both, an hermaphrodite. So that means a mistake had been made, right? That had to be genetically engineered out so that they could be male and female, not masculine and feminine, which is what autochthonous Moors are, masculine and feminine. Okay? Genesis chapter 2, men and women sprung from the soil, we are masculine and feminine. It's the Hermetic law, right? Hermetic law of gender. I don't need to say who or what is classified as male and female, right? But it has to do with the human, the Han-Uman. So anyway, let's keep it pushing. I thought that might be an interesting piece of information. Now, and the fourth beast was like a flying eagle, Scorpio. So the animal for Scorpio has changed. It's a scorpion now. Before it was an eagle. And it was something else before that. So this is from Revelation 4 verse 7. And those four beasts were not merely before the throne of God. They were not merely in front of the throne of God, or even not merely around the throne of God. But, listen y'all, but the four beasts were in the midst, which means middle, were in the middle of the throne. Now if they're in the middle of the throne, that means they're sitting on the throne. They were in the midst of the throne. Now, if these four beasts are sitting on the midst of the throne, remember, these four beasts, these four royal beasts are sitting on God's throne. That means they have to be God. And these four beasts represent the four cardinal points, or the four seasons. Winter, summer, spring, and fall. Y'all see it? But the four beasts were in the midst, which means in the middle of the throne, where none could be but God. That is, or which means they were none other than God. So this God entity that you religious people are calling on and worshiping is nothing more than the Zodiac. Absolutely nothing more than Leo the lion, Taurus the bull, Scorpio, and Aquarius. That's what y'all worshiping when you look at it from an astrological point of view. Okay? But also Odin, Woden, Goat, all of the solar deities. This is the conundrum that you find yourself in when you start using this word God. It's a loaded word, and you are invoking and cursing yourself according to your own doctrine. Because these very same deities who you were told are evil and wicked, you're calling on them every time you say God. You're calling on Thoth, right? Thoth means deity, Deus. Y'all were taught, we are taught that God means deity, amongst other things. Apollo, Jupiter, I'm not going to get into it. But anyway, let's keep going. That is, which means the all-seeing God. Because remember, God is said to be all-seeing. God sees everything, knows everything. But the beasts have eyes all over, in front and in back, even inside. So the beasts see everything. So the beasts are all-seeing. All-seeing eye. God is all-seeing. The all-seeing God, who having to see all things, must, of course, have employment enough for all his eyes, and indeed for a few more, in order to let some of them get a wink of sleep, while the others are on duty. But as it is, the Holy Apostle says, quote unquote, they, that is the eyes, rest not day nor night. Come then, bright science, from thy starry throne, and enable us to rescue the spellbound reason of men. Enable us to help you break this God spell off of you. To recouple your eyes and ears to your mind. To break that spell that Jesus, the historical Jesus, put on you to put you in bondage and keep you there. And to deny you entrance into the kingdom of God, entrance into heaven, to doom you to a life of torment and curses. Deuteronomy chapter 28, 15 through 68. Okay, so to allow us to rescue the spellbound reason. See, your mind, you're under a spell, you've been bewitched and enchanted. To rescue you. Actually, y'all, that's why I named the purple book with the pictographs, I named it 911 Ibaryath Rescue. With that in mind, to rescue you, to rescue your mind from being under this religious spell. The only way it can happen, the absolute only way it can happen, is the reverse of the way it happened. And that's only going to happen through etymology, philology, astrology, astronomy, and history, both secular and mythological. Okay, that's what was used to put you under the spell, and we'll use the same tools to rescue you from the spell, but you have to do it yourself. Okay? You have to do it yourself. I can only show you. I can only show you how. I can only show you the facts and the evidence. All right? So to rescue you personally, from the spellbound reason of men, from the accursed bondage of those priestly thieves. Yes, they're thieves. Not only did they steal your birthright, but they stole your mind. They stole your self-confidence. They stole your self-image. They stole everything from you. Everything. And they're afraid of what you might do if you ever found out and decided to do something about it. If you ever decided you wanted to fix yourself, return to the Most High, and have justice, they are afraid of that. Okay, so these priestly thieves who preach a gospel to their couched hearers, which they never believed themselves, which not one of them dare trust himself to defend by argument before rational man, and which is only kept up in a mockery of respect by terror of their prisons. What did he just say? The essence of what he just said is this. If there is a religious man or woman coming trying to prove their doctrine from the scriptures, they will fail. They will be proven wrong. If someone comes along and proves what the doctrines mean etymologically, philologically, astrologically, and historically, they will fail. It cannot be done. Why? Because the truth is the truth. The truth is there to be discovered just by you looking into the etymology, looking into the astrology, the astronomy, and looking into the history. It's just plain as day. Those of you who have been following me for a long time, y'all know this already. Okay? So they, according to the author, are not going to try to defend these doctrines. When confronted by someone who knows the etymology, or let me state it differently, who knows the content of this book, they would rather do what? The author says, they would rather go after you by the financial system, by their judicial system, okay, or find another way to terrorize or torment you. That's what the author just said. Okay, which means locking you up or exterminating you, burying you. Okay, and only, see, listen, and which is only kept up in mockery of respect. People don't have real respect for religious leaders. The masses of the people, they don't. And many who do, they're doing it, showing respect because they're afraid. They're afraid of being brought up on charges, put in jail, or exterminated. Now that's the truth. He continues. The pomp of their priest, the arrogance of their priest, not just their attitudes, but the way they dress and the way they travel, the pomp of the priest, and the bayonets of their soldiers. Especially now, y'all, this militarized policy enforcer forces that they have in North America, right? They look like military. It looks like they're soldiers. So people are afraid. Here are the four royal stars as they were through eternal ages of bygone time, located in the visible heavens to mark the place which the sun sun nears or approaches as he annually divides to us the four seasons of the year. I think I read this, all of this in the very last class, but I'll keep going. Nothing wrong with repetition. Saints, they were called, And saints, they really are. Oh, so you mean to tell me that the Hebrew Israelite elect are not the saints? Well, according to this author, the saints are the stars. That name saints signifies, that name saint signifying as its derivation betrays or shows us sons. So saint is derived from sun, S-U-N. As each of the fixed stars is a sun, and which the circular halo of rays with which the heads of their effigies were surrounded expressly acknowledged. So y'all see the halo? Okay, the radiating light from the star itself, radiating light. Evangelists they were, because their office was quote unquote to preach the acceptable year of the Lord. Yes, they're preaching the acceptable year of the Lord because if you are knowledgeable, you can look up into the starry heaven and you know what season we are in. You know when one season begins and ends, and when the next one begins and ends, and you know when the year begins and ends. To preach the acceptable year of the Lord and to mark the predicament of Evan, E-V-A-N, that is, or which means of Bacchus, the S-U-N sun, through the 4 seasons. So you can know where the S-U-N sun is in each season. Which constellation is it in? Over which these 4 royal stars preside. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they are names never found in the language of any Jewish nation. And we all know that Jew is not a nation. It's a religion, it's a religion. But betraying or showing in their derivation the most accurate description of the royal stars. Uh-oh. You mean we can look at the names and we get the beast? We get the 4 beasts, we get the 4 royal stars. Regulus, which is Saint Matthew. So Regulus, Saint Matthew. So Matthew is a star. Matthew is a saint. Matthew is a saint, right? So the star Matthew. So Regulus is the star Matthew. The star Matthew is Regulus. Y'all got it? Or Cor Leonis, the heart of a lion, which the S-U-N sun enters about the 2nd of July and leaves about the 23rd of August. Y'all got that? So the sun is entering Cor Lioness, or Leo the lion. Cor Lioness, Cor, heart, Cor, cordis, they mean heart, right? We learned that earlier in the chapter. Hold on, y'all. I got to get comfortable. I'm not comfortable. Hold on. All right. So let's continue. Okay? So the S-U-N sun enters into Cor Leonis. This is Saint Matthew, which is Regulus, around July 2nd, and leaves around August 23rd, when the earth begins to give her fruits. So that's the grain harvest, right? The grain and the wheat harvest. And thus, this star, Regulus, which is Saint Matthew, gets the name Saint Matthew, M-A-T space T-H-E-W, T-H-E-W. Y'all should remember is Thoth, and Thoth is Theo, as in theology, and theological, which is Deus, which is Deus. Y'all remember all of that? What page is that on? That's on page 322. Which is theos, which is deus, which is deity. Okay, all of that is coming from Thu, T-H-E-W. And thence this star gets the name of Saint Matthew, which is most literally the S-U-N Son, the gift, the God, the most expressive designation of the S-U-N Son's bounty. Absolutely, because it's harvest time, the covenant of grace. And of the heat of that season, so July is usually the hottest part of the year, hottest time of the year. And here is Matthew, not only with his lion, but in his lion, the very heart of a lion. And here is the beast in the throne of God. And here is the beast in the midst, in the middle of the throne of God. And see if he is not full of eyes before and behind, just as Revelation said. I think it's Revelation 4 or 4 and 7. He has got an eye in his tail, Danab, or Daneb rather, D-A-N-E-B, and the eye within him, which is in his heart itself. And these eyes never sleep, they rest not day nor night. Formal hope in the fish's mouth, Jonah in the whale's belly, swallowing the water which is effused from the urn, from the jar of the Aquarius of January, is St. Mark. So St. Mark is an hermaphrodite. Isn't that interesting? Because it's St. Mark, the secret gospel of the Mark, the secret gospel of Mark, who talks about the homosexual activity of the historical Jesus, who told the youth, boy, the adolescent, hopefully adolescent, teenager, hopefully it wasn't a 5-year-old, that's even worse, right? Not that one's better than the other, but y'all know what I'm saying. It doesn't specify the youth's age. Told the youth to come to his house in the evening wearing nothing but a jock strap. And he was to stay overnight so that the historical Jesus could teach him all of the mysteries of the kingdom of God. Now you tell me, what kind of sense does that make? That's homosexual activity taking place under the guise of teaching this child, this boy, about God. Do y'all have any idea how many little boys have been raped by these religious people under the guise of teaching them religion, helping them get closer to God? That's very old in their playbook. All right. So Mark is Aquarius. Aquarius is an hermaphrodite. According, if I remember correctly, according to, and Darrell-El, you can correct me, that hermaphrodite, I think, did you say that etymologically, or it means homosexual? Okay, so Saint Mark, hermaphrodite, Aquarius, Fomalhaut, who is the fish, Fomalhaut, who is the fish in the mouth, Fomalhaut in the fish's mouth, and Jonah in the whale's belly. The word Marcus literally signifying the polite or shining one, star. The most beautiful definition you could invent for the shining Fomalhaut Fomalhaut is the star, who is the only one of the four, of those four wild beasts, of those four stars, whose accompanying genius, whose accompanying zodiac sign is a human being. And I would beg to differ. Some of y'all may say I'm wrong, but it's just my opinion that Aquarius would have to be a hybrid because it is what? Gender neutral. Gender neutral. Is it a human being? Absolutely. Because the created creature in Genesis chapter 1 is Han-Uman, the half man, half chimpanzee, genetically engineered creature, resulting from the work of the Elohim, who were Moors, and or a team of Moors and Raphaim, and what's the generations before Nephilim? Marcus being believed to have composed his gospel under the dictation of St. Peter. So St. Peter is talking, and Mark is writing. Okay? St. Peter is telling Mark what to write. And here, sirs, is Peter pouring it forth. Here's Peter pouring forth the words like water out of his mouth, and Mark swallowing those words with his ears and writing it down with his pen. And Mark swallowing it as fast as he can swallow. And I need not tell you that there's a good deal for him to swallow. I don't know if that's a sexual pun or if he's talking about swallowing a whole bunch of lies. I'm going to leave that up to y'all. Islam to all the Moors, y'all. I gotta go. I have an appointment. We'll pick it back up on Aldebaran. Aldebaran is the bullseye. So we'll pick it back up on their page 328. Maybe in 5-6 hours or 12 to 24 hours. All right. Thanks everyone for buying my books, subscribing to the 101 Ancient Ibaryath course, donating to my project to write the book of the law in Ancient Ibaryath and modern English to restore the astronomy and astrology, the natural phenomena, including the Hermetic laws that undergird all of the material universe, including consciousness. Islam to all the Moors, and Shalom.